Welcome everyone to the 1% Better podcast. Today I have my good friend Colin on here. This is where investors, business owners, and just everyday Joes try to get a little bit better, 1% every day. Colin, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's funny, the 1% better every day.
Yeah.
We're part owners of Northern Vessel.
Okay.
And that's kind of their slogan down there too.
Is it?
1% better every day.
What's Northern Vessel? Tell me about
Northern Vessel is a coffee shop
Oh, okay.
down on Keogh.
Okay.
So kind of right off the interstate, but it's wildly popular and, you know, just continue to work on themselves and their product and their customer service. And, you know, my dad always said that, worry about yourself and eventually your competition and those in your market might worry about you. You just got to stay focused on yourself.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know.
And there's always something to improve on every day.
Yeah. Yeah. What other people are doing with their business, let them do that. You just got to stay focused on how you do it, how your team does it, how you're carrying yourself, and, you know, just keep getting better every day.
For sure. That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
No, walk us through your story. Colin, your where you came from, all that good stuff. What brought you to where you are now?
I'm from Fort Dodge originally.
Okay.
Came to Iowa State University, so spent some time here in Ames.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I ended up doing an internship at CBRE Hubble Commercial. So got into commercial real estate. Actually got turned down by 3 or 4 internships just because.
Worst mistake they ever made.
Well, I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And so did an internship there for 8 months, 9 months, and then started full-time commercial real estate when I was 21 years old.
Nice.
Learned a lot, saw the market change dramatically. I mean, my first year was gangbusters and it was awesome. And
What year was that?
07.
Okay. Right
So
before
out the
crash?
gates, we were on fire.
Yeah.
08, the market crashed. So then everything stopped. My dad passed away in 09, so I moved to Fargo, North Dakota. Wanted to get into real estate, but I found a headhunter up there and I was like, I can't do sales. Like I need income. I need some sort of base salary in there. There's like, well, there's this home builder and they'll pay you 18 grand a year and you get benefits and health insurance. And I was like, oh, let's do it. And so very fortunate, got hooked up with a great home builder up there and did new construction for 3 years, mostly custom stuff,
Okay.
which was a lot of fun. Learned a lot. Met my now wife, started a family, moved home, started my own Colin Panzi real estate team. Ran that for 5 or 6 years. And then in 2020, the burden of being a team leader, head salesperson, head marketing, head accountant, head everything. I wasn't burned out, but I knew that it wasn't sustainable. And so met my now partner, Michael Heider, with him and I started in 21, the Ankeny Real Estate Group. So we're in our 5th year doing that. It was just good right off the bat.
Yeah.
And it's still continuing to grow and we got great people around us. And so it's been a lot of fun. It's been good.
You like being a broker now more than being an agent, or you still probably do some, you know, you probably list some houses and help out some clients,
I still have a builder that I represent,
Okay.
Redwood Builders. So that probably takes the majority of my time, but it's back to custom homes, doing 16 to 20 a year, which is like the right speed for me. Nice homes, get to know the people, take them through that process. So that's been good. I still do some existing listings, help buyers and every once in a while friends and family type of deal. So I'm still much on the sales side of it. Michael, my business partner, he's probably more on the managerial side of it.
Okay.
And then we got a CEO, Andrew Boyles, who runs all the back end stuff, which was clutch too. I mean, in the first 6 months of Michael and I kind of coming together and starting this, I was on vacation and I called him and I'm like, there's no way that you and I are going to be able to do all the things that we want to do and still be out there. So we got to find someone that just does the business, and lucked out with that person. He does not do anything with transactions. If I asked him where a seller's disclosure was, he'd have no clue. But
that's fine if you know your role.
With him not in our business, we'd be lost now as well.
Okay.
And so it's been good. It just continues to grow and we keep getting better every day and helping our agents and helping our clients and, you know, just good people doing good things.
Yeah. So before we jumped on here, you talked to me a little bit about the new brokerage system because you were with Remax.
Yep.
And now you're with, remind me again.
LPT Realty.
Okay. And walk me through just like the cloud-based, because I'm traditional, like the Remax model. I understand that.
Yeah.
But what's the new, like these cloud-based real brokerages?
Yep.
What's that all about?
So I was with Remax for 10 years and believed in the balloon. You
Yep.
know, the one thing about Remax is if you see that balloon anywhere in the world, you know it's a real estate company.
Yep.
So I definitely felt like there was value in that. But as you probably experienced, people do business with the people.
Yeah.
So you can be with Remax or Century 21 or wherever, but they're doing it with the individual realtor or the team. In 22 years ago, so beginning of 24, we kind of knew and felt like we needed a change. And cloud-based brokerages took off for the last decade and a half with EXP and Real. EXP was the first one out the gates. Real was close behind it. Just the efficiencies. So all the Remaxes, which in the Des Moines area and Ames, you add that up, there's 20 some different Remaxes.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 just the names.
So 25 different Remaxes, different accounting departments, different compliance departments, whole businesses.
Yeah.
What cloud-based brokerages are doing is just streamlining it, making it more efficient. When you make it more efficient, systems typically run better.
Yeah.
Agents typically get to take home more money. You know, with EXP and Real, their big model was 1, sell real estate, but 2, build your downline.
Yeah.
And recruit.
And then you get like a percentage of the next person's commission, right?
So it's somewhat of like a
Does that
pyramid
never
scheme.
end?
You know, I don't think. Well, I guess there's like 7 or 8 tiers to it.
Okay.
So at some point, the guy at the top's not in the funnel anymore.
Yeah.
But what happened was in Keller Williams, we saw this too. Keller Williams came to Des Moines and Ankeny and, you know, Ames, and they were trying to grow, which understandably, but you were getting people out there that sold 2 homes a year saying, hey, let's grab coffee and you should come to Keller Williams. And I'm like, sorry, but I'm busy and I don't know who you are. So
I've
I don't
never
really
seen
want to
your
sit
name
I
anywhere,
don't really,
nowhere.
EXP, similar model, where selling real estate is important, but building your downline is even more important.
Yeah.
Real, same concept. The big difference between them and like LPT is everyone with EXP and Real pay a $15,000, $16,000, $18,000 cap, and then they're encouraged to go and recruit.
Okay.
LPT recognized that 97% of the realtors out there don't want to recruit and probably shouldn't recruit.
Yeah.
LPT set it up to where there is the rev share aspect of it for the team leaders, the broker owners, you know, kind of the, you know, more influential people in the market.
Yep.
But then the other 95, 97% of people, there's a $5,000 cap. And that's just, hey, you want to come sell real estate, be with a part of a brokerage that's super efficient, low fees, all the great same services, training, everything behind it. They offer that option. And so
what does that look like? So it's LPT is a cloud-based service too. Do you have your own, like, I say settlement agents, but that's not right. Or transaction coordinators in-house that you hire and you train, or is that also taken care of by
so we outsource it.
Okay.
We use Integrity Settlement Services.
Yep.
Real Clear is another one that does quite a bit.
They're great.
And there's a handful of them in the market that can help you as a TC do your deed package, help you, you know, with your back end with buyers and sellers. And so, we use Integrity, and they're basically our back end, and they do a great job.
Personal question for you, because I always, and we can cut this out if you don't want to answer.
They're good.
But I've always thought like one revenue source for a brokerage is the transaction fees.
Yeah.
And so you outsourcing that kind of eliminates that, yet gets rid of your headache of managing that person, dealing with the transaction, because, you know, 8 out of 10 of them are fine, but those other 2 are nightmares that take 20 hours for someone to figure out. Does that concern you at all, or you're just like, whatever?
No, I mean, I definitely think that there are transactions that are super easy, and you're like, why'd we pay him for that one?
Yeah, for 5.
But it's a law of average where look at it as a whole for a year, where our group last year did 365 transactions, and the handful that were more challenging probably made up for the 25% of them that were just cut and dry, easy.
Will you ever get to a point where you're like, well, let's bring this back in house, or you're just like, it's not your focus right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a point where the amount that you're paying for those transaction fees and support might offset an employee, but I'm a firm believer, stay in your lane that you're good at. And, I could probably get certified to do termite inspections also, but I'm not running around to all these houses doing them for $64 or whatever it is to have one done.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way this year. I was on my fix and flips. We were doing like 50 transactions. So you do 50 transactions, but both sides, 100 times 500, you're talking a pretty big number there. And I'm like, well, I could just take this in house. And even if it doesn't offset everything, then I'm getting someone that can help out with my business for a pretty low cost and work on other things. Well, I probably just hired the wrong person, and then I wasted a month and 10 grand, and she didn't stick around.
Yeah.
So now I'm back where I was before, which is fine. Like, I learned something and
100%.
took a risk, but it was like, man, I probably would have saved 10 grand in 4 months of my time if I wouldn't have ever fucked around with that at all.
Yeah. And that definitely can happen and a lot of it's trial and error.
Yeah.
We're going to try it. Does it work? Does it not? Measure, track, at the end of 4 months or 6 months or 12 months, go, man, that was valuable, or that's a failed cause.
Yeah.
Let's scrap this and start over.
And it's all about like just getting that right person.
The people.
Yeah.
Because you can get somebody that gives you 3x your investment, and you can get someone that you're losing money every day that they show up or don't show up.
Yeah. I actually, one thing I was going to post about last year, I didn't do it, but I should have done it. I was going to post, how everyone at the end of the year, especially in real estate, they kind of boast, hey, I represented 25 sellers this year and 10 buyers. I was going to post the opposite of like all my failures of last year.
You should.
I probably still can.
Yeah.
And one of them was, I hired 7 people last year and only one of them are still around.
Yeah.
Because they either like, it's kind of just crazy that how many grown adults will say something like, hey, let's do this, I'm ready to roll, after a couple interviews, a couple phone calls, then are gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the misconception with real estate, it's, oh, this is going to be easy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's work. It's grind. I mean, they say, 90% of people don't make it through the first year or two?
First 3 years, I think. 90% of people don't do their credits, continuing it after 3 years.
Yeah. And it's because if it was easy, we wouldn't have 3,000 realtors in our area. We'd have 13,000. Yeah. It's the same way with insurance, or, insurance is a good example. Mm-hmm. If everyone came in, they made 150 grand the first year, there'd be 10x the number of insurance agents. Yeah. But it takes time. Yep. And if everyone could make it and make it quick, then Yeah, it's crazy, because even like 3,000 agents for Des Moines sounds like a ridiculous number to me. Yeah. But even out of those 3,000 agents, me and you both know only the top 10% of them are actually making the money. Yeah. They're the top 10% of those 3,000 are actually probably doing 90 or 80% of the business. Yeah. I mean, it used to be kind of an 80-20 rule. Yeah. 20% doing 80% of the business, but it's definitely trending more towards a 90-10, where 10% of the realtors do 90% of the business. And, and so that means the other 90% are doing 10% of the business, and they're the ones that are probably not going to renew their license. No, God, no. And the last couple of years has been super challenging. Mm-hmm. I think in 17, 18, 19, early 20, like, you can get into real estate. It was a little bit slower. You could manage, you could figure it out. But then when 2020 happened, it just grew exponentially, and people were just buying and selling because they woke up on a Tuesday and felt like they wanted to. And so, but then when 23 happened, it was like, oh, we got to go back to making calls. We got to go back to canceling offers because my buyer's walking away. Yep. My listing won't sell. And it became much more of the grind. Mm-hmm. And so, but I think that's one thing about our team, is just like keep showing up. Got to get more creative too, I think now. Like my old partner, Colin,
like when he first started, buying leads was kind of unheard of. Buying Zillow leads, like 2017.
Yeah.
No one bought Zillow leads in 2017. Hardly many people. Obviously in the coast they did, but I feel like here locally, not many people were doing it.
Yeah.
So your Zillow lead back then was $25, $50.
Yeah.
You buy Zillow leads now, probably in Ankeny, they're probably close to $500 a pop.
Yeah. We, I started with Zillow in probably 2013.
Okay.
And the rate of return was 20x. I mean, if you just answer the phone, which I think is a big component for any realtor, just pick up your phone. Just make phone calls.
Yeah.
Now it's definitely come down from the 20x that it was.
Maybe like a good 3 maybe now.
Yeah. But I wish that when I was in 2013, 2014, just getting started, I wish I was tracking it the way that I did now.
Yeah.
And we had the follow up and the game plan and the CRM system to really get the most out of every lead that you get. But when the leads are not $10 a piece anymore, or $25 and they're 500, then you got to shake that tree till something falls out.
Someone's making money on them, because otherwise they wouldn't be selling them.
Yeah.
But it just takes, you got to be really dialed in.
Which it's wild. I mean, we have a pretty...
Do you do any Zillow now?
Yeah.
You still do?
We do just Ankeny.
Okay.
Which that was one of the things that I learned really early on was just stick to where you're good at.
Yeah.
Tom Ferry said in a conference one time, you go to those conferences and you just look for one or two things that just kind of imprint on you. And he was like, all of your marketing, all of your ad spend, all of your time, like quit shooting a shotgun and trying to hit every metro, every area. Just stick to where you know. And I think with Zillow, what happened with me was I got a lead one time for like West Des Moines because I was spending money out there.
Yeah.
And I drove 30, 40 minutes out there. I was unfamiliar with the neighborhood. The guy never showed up. So then I'm turning around, driving back. And then like the next day I got a lead in Ankeny, and the person called and I knew the house that they called about. I could tell them the square footage before I even looked it up. Yep. I knew that there was more houses, another house 2 blocks away and another one 3 to the south.
Yep.
And it just, I'm like, why am I driving 40 minutes to a market that I'm unfamiliar with, where if let's just double down where we're at and stick to that. So we primarily just do Ankeny. We do a little bit in Polk City, but it works for us pretty well.
That's awesome. What do you use for CRM?
Follow Up Boss.
Follow Up Boss. Was that like correlated with Go High Level now, or is that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But it was bought by Zillow.
Okay.
So Zillow just continues to acquire more and more.
Is that nice then? Is there like a lead? Like when the lead gets in, does it automatically go into your CRM? No,
yeah, all of our
nice.
leads, wherever they're coming from. So we have like Live Ankeny, our website. Yeah. Those leads get automatically put into our CRM. So that's the one thing that's about like Follow Up Boss. It's a CRM. Yeah. It's not a CRM and a website. It's not a lead generating tool. It's not 52 other things. It's a CRM. Nice. And so all these lead generating websites, you can connect and all the leads drop in. They can get assorted and sent out to your team. And then you can sit there and manage them and track them and see if they're following up, see how they're following up, records phone calls so you can listen back. And I mean, it's just like batting practice. Yep. Let's watch film on your swing and I'll tell you what you're doing wrong. And, let's listen to your calls and think about the ways that you could have done it differently. Yeah. That's always fun to me. I always love those phone call reviews. That's at 1%. Yeah. Just get better next time. Yep. We talked about that in our team meeting this morning, going to like YPN events or chamber events or whatever else. It's to have those conversations with people that you don't know that ask that question that you're not prepared for, so that when they ask it again or someone else asks it, then you're better with it. Yep. And so kind of reading the room too. I feel like as an agent, you get so many questions from so many individuals. I might not say the same response to you if you ask me the same direct question as a first-time home buyer or as, someone else in the marketplace or investor or whatever. That's part of it that no one talks about either. Yeah. It's a numbers game. Same with making calls. The more calls you make, the more leads you'll find, the more sales you'll get done, the more connections you make at these networking events, the more that will come from it. And so I think that's the thing about like realtors as they get into the business. Like, you know, I really like showing homes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's 5% of your job.
Yeah.
The other 95% you got to go learn how to do. And it's not as fun of taking your friend around looking at.
Which really the best realtors, they're not really showing a lot of homes. They're listing agents, you know, but I know a realtor. Well, my sister-in-law, she has someone that helps her with showings now.
Yeah.
With certain clients, because she can't be two places at once.
Yeah.
You know, if you live in Ames and you got to show a house in West Des Moines to repeat clients, well, that's 45 minutes down there, say another at least 30 minutes for the showing, and then 45 minutes back. Well, there's 2 hours of your day gone.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do something there.
And then they want to go look at another place tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like turn back around.
Yep.
That's ultimately why I started my real estate team. In 2013, I was doing it all myself. I was up at 5 doing my paperwork.
Yeah.
You know, scheduling appointments, scheduling showings. And I clear as day remember it was my own birthday. My family and my wife's family were getting together for dinner, and I showed up 30 minutes late. And I got home that night, and my wife was like, look, I get that you're super busy, and I get that your real estate stuff is taking off, but like something has to change.
Yeah.
And I looked back that night, I made like 118 phone calls
In
and out, all while driving, all while going to home inspections and closings. And just, I mean, I was the guy going down the interstate, like, watch out for him, because I'm multitasking.
Now they have self-driving cars.
And Bluetooth, so that helps. But yeah, so ultimately I had buyers, and I have a mindset that if a buyer wants to look at 30 houses, then we're going to look at 30 houses. But I couldn't provide the same service that I wanted to the buyers and still maintain my listings and my sellers. And so I've always been a big component of find the right people to help you and help them to succeed. And so I think a lot of realtors are like, well, I don't want to give up this buyer to, you know, pay someone say 50% on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but look what you're getting back.
You're
getting your time. They're getting better service. You got a team agent that's on board that, you know, is excited about the lead. And so I've never had a problem of letting go. And
well, you have an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
That's why.
My dad did too. My dad, even before when I was at Iowa State, he partnered with another gentleman named Tom DeWay on all the apartment stuff that he did. So my dad would sell apartment buildings, but he's not putting together, you know, a buyer packet of all the information. Like, he was not good with computers. He was older. He was one of the first realtors to get in with Colby Interest. And so he partnered with another guy. Like, hey, we've got Office Park Road. There are a bunch of smaller office suites. I'm not going to run over there to show an 800 square foot office space 3 times a week. I'll bring someone on. And so I think I saw that at a young age of, you know, get good people, have them work around you, and together you'll go further than on your own.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that's awesome. Yeah, about that. Talk to me a little bit. Maybe about the team structure you have now, what that looks like. And then actually, personal question, cut all that out. When you're running around like crazy, obviously, from what I know of you, you have probably more irons in the fire now than what you did when you know, 10, 15 years ago when you're running around like crazy. How has that been for you, just like your personal life? Because for me, 2 years ago when I was running around showing all these houses, I had more stress just because like you can only control so much in that, and you're going to all these different directions. But now I'm able to like delegate some stuff out, and I made less money this last year than I did 2 years ago, but I worked a lot less. I've just been peace and calm. Yeah. Like a lot more calm than I was 2 years ago. Is that the same for you, or is that different? Yeah.
And truthfully, this last year, like, I've got such great people around me that I find myself with almost too much free time. Not free time, but like idle time. Yeah. I'm still definitely a person that's like, okay, like I got this done, this done, this done. And if I didn't get all those done today, then it didn't feel like I really accomplished much. Yeah. And we're accomplishing so much more at a higher clip, but I'm not having to do all the things. And so, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a work-life balance. I've got an 11 and a 13-year-old, so being there for them, picking them up from school, running them to practice. I'm glad that I realized and recognized this when I was younger. That, you know, again, having good people around you, it's a lot funner to do also. Was the way to go. And so, you know, starting Ankeny Real Estate Group, I'm no longer the head of it myself. I've got a business partner who him and I run it, and that's been an adjustment, but in the long run, it will absolutely be worth it.
Do you think that idle time, one thing I've been thinking about, like that idle time, because you've spent so much time on your great people, your great systems, your great network. Do you think that's just kind of rewiring yourself a little bit of like, okay, it's okay to maybe have a little free time now and again and just like take that time for myself, and now I can actually, like, when something's ready, I can put all my energy and force into behind that.
Yeah.
Is that part of it too, you think? Or?
I definitely think it's been good. It's an adjustment for me to realize that I'm in this kind of idle time, and that, okay, what is the next thing? But I also feel like opportunities come not by chance, like right time, right place. And so you can't force yourself into like, oh, this is just the next thing I'm going to go do because I don't have anything going on this afternoon. And so right now, I mean, we're building a house, so that's allowed me to just kind of pause on everything on the outside for different opportunities and whatnot. Like, so it's been good. Just reflecting, saying no to some stuff, trying to simplify things. It's been.
Have you think the older you got, the more you've said no to?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was younger, I'd
moved all the way up to Fargo.
Yeah, I'd say yes to anything. Yeah, I mean, it has to be worthwhile.
Yeah.
You know, I think as you get older, your time is precious. Once you've gotten away from the hustle and the bustle and the chaos of going from 5 a.m. till 10 at night and waking up and doing it again day after day after day after year, you know, because I mean, there was a 2-3 year stretch where, I mean, I was running.
Yeah.
So the further you get away from that, you still want to do things, but this seems like it's worthwhile. That's a sunken ship before it even leaves the harbor type of deal.
For sure.
So
cool. That's awesome.
I think the thing for me right now, I'm 41, is trying to think how I can build that cash flow. And so like on the investment side of things, you know, is it rentals? Is it businesses?
Yeah.
Is it just put it in a money market, you know, and pull that up and check that and then put it away and watch that grow? So that's what I've been thinking about a lot more, not making any moves or anything, but planning.
Sometimes it's okay just to build up that nest egg too.
Yeah.
You know, like I think sometimes I'm probably the extreme and my wife has kind of pulled me back a little bit. So it's kind of nice to have that yin and the yang.
Yeah.
But there's like an amount that if it's not in the account, she doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
Which is great. I'm glad to have that. But I've always kind of been on the other side of that of like, okay, there's X amount of money in my account. How can I go out and just put it into something else?
Yeah.
You know, a next rental, put it into whatever. And it's sometimes just fine to just wait.
Yeah.
You know, have some cash reserves because there is going to be a time where maybe stuff does pull back.
Yeah.
And you have time to jump in on that too.
Yeah. Which I think that will be interesting to hear in the upcoming year, especially on like the commercial side. Because a lot of people refinanced in 2020, 21, 22 on 5-year notes. And so some of that stuff's going to get called due. Yeah. And rents might not been what they were 5 years ago. Occupancy might be higher or lower. So all of that's going to shake out and be pretty interesting.
Well, and a lot of it, there's a lot, just not in the farm ground space, but in the business space too, in the next 10, 20 years, there's going to be a lot of opportunity, I think. And for the farmland specifically, I think I read something that was like 80% of landowners in Iowa are over the age of 60.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a lot of turnover in that. And then, which isn't really a big cash flow game, but you know, my thought has always been, you know, you build up a rental pool and then you're 60, 70 years old, 1031 that all into farm ground. And there's not much management to that.
No.
You know, you're calling guys up. Oh yeah, I'm going to renew my cash
rent.
rent lease again this year.
Yeah.
You're not dealing with toilets or all that other stuff. But right now it's fine having the extra headache for the potential return.
Yeah.
And you can kind of throw some value into it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's really hard to, unless you buy it super cheap, a piece of land to like really shove value into it.
Yeah.
Unless you're putting in tile, but you can only put in tile once.
Yeah.
You know, really. So
that's the thing with like rentals. So like obviously being in real estate, it's like I see rental opportunities, you know, and it might be that if I was 10 years younger, look, call me on that toilet. I'll call somebody and we'll get it taken care of. I just don't know if I want to jump back into that.
Yeah.
I've had rentals, but not bad. I've done well with them, but especially now with where like interest rates are at on rentals and what rents are at, like I don't want to drop 50 grand on a rental to make $2,500 or $5,000 a year before the water heater goes out.
You're lucky.
Before some of those other expenses come up that are unexpected.
Yeah.
And then it's like, man, I've dealt with a tenant for a year. They moved out. It's been vacant for a month. Now I'm not making any money on this. And obviously you're paying down your mortgage and you have tax incentives behind it, but cash flow.
Yeah. Anymore, like this year, the only way I'm going to buy anything is if it's no money down, like a creative structure. Yeah. Which sounds crazy, but it's just all about how you present it, you know, to somebody. And probably not going to be something on the market, which is fine. Maybe it will be. You never know. But, you know, there's people out there, if they know you're going to be responsible, a steward of their contract, whatever, steward of their property. They have $1 million, $2 million property. Uncle Sam's going to call a tax bill due sometime. So, you know, get a little interest on that money that they've created doesn't always sound like a bad idea.
So you buying stuff on contract then?
Yeah, lately.
Yeah. Someone that owns a property outright, buy it on contract, defer the tax for them.
Yep. Or I've been doing that, or like a combination, like a hybrid deal sometimes. So a couple of the deals I put together in 2022 for clients I actually represented. I don't know why I just didn't buy them myself, but it was a hybrid deal. So like they had a loan that was, say for the example, it was a fourplex, $400,000. They had $275,000 on a mortgage with their bank, and then we would do a contract essentially for that payment, and then a secondary contract with the seller and the buyer. And essentially in sub 2, like the buyer never took over the mortgage. It was still in the seller's name. So there is that risk. Yeah. But the upside is if they put money down, say the buyer puts 10% down and they stop making the payments, well, then you get the property back and all the money they sent them.
Yeah.
So if the buyer's putting some money down, I don't ever really see it as a risk to the seller. Yeah. Unless they really don't think that person's trustworthy, and you probably shouldn't be doing business with them in the first place.
So in those scenarios, does the buyer pay the seller the whole lump sum, and then the seller makes sure that the bank and the mortgage gets their payment consistently?
Yep. So it is kind of sometimes like a pain in the butt. So for example, I have a house that I lived in Carroll. Yep. And first house I ever bought, I fixed it up myself. Then I moved back to Ames. I rented out for a year. Then after the year, I was like, I don't want to deal with this just because I don't really know a good handyman in Carroll. Yeah. Be taking all the calls, whatever. So I listed it, never sold it on contract. And essentially that's what's happening. So the buyer is paying me $750 a month, and then my mortgage is $500. So I just make sure the mortgage is paid every month, and then I take care of taxes in that scenario, but you can set it up however you want. Yeah. And so like that's really technically passive $250, but it's not like you're getting rich off $250, but no, it's something. Yeah. You know, I don't know. And I don't have to deal with it anymore.
We've had like a couple people buy commercial buildings that way. And the big thing was, again, just for the seller, the tax deferment. Yeah. Because you can sell your building for $1 million and write a check for $300,000, or we can make you monthly payments of $7,000-8,000 a month, and
Yeah.
at some point you're going to end up paying the capital gains tax on it and whatnot. But
Make a little interest on it, you know. Even if it's 4 or 5%, you know, it's hard to find that other places and not have to pay the tax bill.
Well, and this was in the last couple of years, so I think the interest was like 6.5.
Okay.
You know, so it adds up.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's easier for the buyer to do a deal like that than going through the bank and all their hoops and
Fees and everything else.
And so my builder that I represent, he ended up buying a building on contract, and it's worked out really well for him.
Yeah. And the nice thing, like on the seller on that scenario, I can still loan against that property. So like, obviously your bank has to be cool with it, but most of the time, if you're under the 75%, in my case and what I've done, they're usually pretty cool with it.
Yeah.
So like if I wanted to pull some equity against that property, there's not a ton of equity in there. It's probably like 60% loan to value. It's only $150,000 house. So it's like, there's maybe 10 or 20 grand I could pull. So it's not really worth it. But you get up to those higher price points, the bank, you know, they make money by giving you money.
Yeah.
So usually the time, if you're a good operator and it's not your first go around, they might be able to give you a little bit back.
Yeah.
So.
You definitely could cash out some money there, but
Yeah.
I'm also wanting to chip down that balance on everything, have no debt. 2019, for 6 or 7 years, I kind of ran my business willy-nilly. I mean, just all over the place.
Yeah.
Not tracked, but not really. And in 2019, my wife got QuickBooks certified. She was a math and econ major here from Iowa State, so really good with numbers. And end of 2019 into 2020, obviously everything happened with COVID, and it completely changed our lives because we wiped out all of our debt. We still have a mortgage on our house, but wiped out all the debt, and we weren't making any more money, but it just started accumulating.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, I remember I was playing golf with a buddy in probably 2018, and this was like April, spring break, and I was talking about like, I probably owe the government $40,000-50,000 in taxes, and he's like, so do you got it saved? And I'm like, no, but I got some good months coming up, so it'll be fine. And he just looked at me and he's like, man, this is not going to work forever. And so I'm very thankful that we took the time to just hone in on everything. And in the long run, it definitely changes our trajectory of where we'll be when we're 50 or 60.
Are you Dave Ramsey then, or were you just like to a point like?
Yeah, we went through the Dave Ramsey course.
Okay.
And obviously I was a finance major, so I get it.
Yeah.
And she gets it. But it was the whole with Dave Ramsey, like, okay, go to the grocery store with $100 in an envelope, and you can't spend more than that. So you're going to put the cereal back or whatever else. Like, we weren't going to do that.
Yeah.
But we worked with a gentleman out of Ankeny who used to work with Principal Financial Group and had some higher up VP type job and super successful. Well, he walked away from all that, and he basically does a podcast now called Money Over Meaning, or Meaning Over Money. And he's like a financial coach.
Okay.
I would call him more of like a financial therapist, because like you're sitting down, you're putting together a budget, you're tracking it, you have a game plan for when stuff comes in and what you're doing with it. And we worked monthly with him for probably 2 years. And we, you know, what's your net worth on day one?
Yeah.
What's your net worth at the start of year two? You know, and so just seeing that stuff happen. I mean, we paid off student loans, our cars are paid off.
Yeah.
You know, I used to operate off 2 or 3 different credit cards. I pay this balance this month and that balance next month. And, you know, and now it's just pay cash for everything. And
so, a little easier, just like sense of ease and going to bed at night.
The stress.
Yeah.
You know, I used to just track how much was coming in, where it was going on my own with no game plan. And now it all has a spot. It all goes to where it needs to. Putting away for retirement, different investments, but also being able to have the ability that if an opportunity does come available, it's not like, how do we do this? It's like, we can do this. Do we choose to do it or not? You know, and not sink everything else that you have going on by
Yeah.
taking one step off the ship type of deal.
Have you ever read the book Life in Air?
No.
You should read it.
Okay.
I don't know if you're a reader or not, or at
I'm
least
a
listen
Audible.
to. Okay.
Yeah.
Get it on Audible. It's great. It's kind of what you're talking about there. Essentially, it's like it has some Dave Ramsey principles, but it's not like I love Dave Ramsey. Essentially, it's like the overall topic of the book is if you wanted to be the most rich mother effer in the world, you would just leverage to the moon.
Yeah.
Like you would just continue to double down, leverage. But there begins to be a point of like, even if it's a good asset, like an apartment building is a good asset they have leverage on, the bank doesn't care if half your tenants leave tomorrow.
No.
You still have that underlying debt. And it's like, if you want to be 100% free, well, like a biblical standpoint is like the debtor is still, or the payer is still in debt to the payee or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so it brings in those principles and it like puts it together very perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Of it like goes around a general contractor that is just like always going. And then how he starts to like stop keeping up with the Joneses, like buys a house that's like built in the 70s instead of like living in the best neighborhood with the 2 brand new Porsches and everything else. And then like how he can spend more time with his family and his friends and give to the places he wants. And like, it's a pretty good book.
Yeah. I'll check that out for sure. There is, there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
I think, your payment's only $1,000 on that $100,000 car.
Yeah.
It's a lot cooler when you have the title to your car and you have no payments.
Yeah.
You need new tires. It's $1,000. That's, that's easy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For sure. And it's just like, sometimes I go back, it's like, what a privilege to live in America. Like half of the world lives off less than $1 a day.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
So it's like all these things that we want and we need. Like I want to get a new Cadillac this year, a Cadillac CT5. Like I'm kind of a car guy.
Yeah.
And I like, that's always just like badass. Not even to care what other people, like I don't care what other people think about it, but like I had a Camaro convertible and like every day for 3 weeks, I felt like a kid in that car.
Yeah.
Just like ripping it.
Yeah.
And like I want to get that, but then I'm like, well, do I really need it? But I don't know.
So the house that we're building
Yeah.
has a basketball court in the basement.
That's badass.
And I struggled with it for a while
Yeah.
because I'm like, do we need it? No, like we will be fine without it.
Yeah.
Do we want it? Yeah. I mean, it'd be super cool to have, but ultimately it's not about what other people think. And it's, I want to teach my grandkids how to play basketball there. And it's something that we'll use for our friends, my kids' friends.
Yeah.
The time that we'll get there, the things that we'll do there, like
Memories
that
you'll
ultimately, is what caused me to pull the trigger was, the other thing too, it's about with like this house, like, yeah, I could have taken that money and bought investment properties. I could have put it in a money market account or bought stocks or did something different with it. But like no one's coming over at Christmas and I'm going to be like, here, check out my money market account. Like this is sweet.
Yeah.
They're like, no, let's go downstairs and we can play some basketball.
Yeah.
Play pickleball, play volleyball.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it.
That's awesome. No, and that's the other thing is like, so I go to that extreme, kind of like what you talk about is like, I want it, but I don't really need it. Kind of like your basketball court. But then on the other side, it's like, we live in such a great society anymore. Like anything that isn't a necessity is a want. Like I don't have to drive a 2023 Chevy pickup. Like that isn't a need.
No.
I could drive a 2000 Buick LeSabre if I wanted to. That would be a need.
Yeah.
Like just basic transportation. So then it goes back to like everything in life is just kind of a want.
Yeah.
Like what do you want out of it? And so, yeah, I kind of want that Cadillac.
But it's experiences and,
Yeah.
And I think the thing also for like the businesses that we own and things that we do, like we travel a fair bit. And we don't travel crazy. Like we're not renting the most expensive Airbnb and doing stuff wild, but like my wife always said, like the reason we travel is because, or the reason we get to travel is because we have these businesses.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have these businesses if we didn't travel and do other things that we wanted to do, because it just wouldn't be worth it. You know, and so we have these businesses that allow us to travel when we want, and luckily compensates us in a way that we can do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so I think if you work hard, you can play hard,
For sure.
but also in a manner that, you know, you're not living outside of your means.
Everyone can do what they want to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is America.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They, yeah, it's a great business to be in. We're in a great part of the country to be doing it in.
Yeah.
I know there's other markets that, you know, wherever you're at, you probably love where you're at because you're there for a reason, but, I like Iowa.
Yeah. Oh, I go back and forth. The people here are great. You can't beat that. Like being able to travel, that opportunity, you go to other places, and probably Arizona, you have quite a bit of great people, but you go to Vegas, you go to some of the places on the East Coast, people are assholes.
Yeah.
You know, and so dealing with winter every now and again ain't too bad.
Yeah.
And then it makes you appreciate the summer.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Like a day like yesterday, yeah, it was damn cold, felt like -20, but it makes you appreciate those days in the summer when it's super green.
Yeah. I've always said there's like 5 or 6 perfect days a year in Iowa where it's like 80 degrees, no breeze, sun's out. Just, those are the days you just pause and you're like, all right, this is good.
Yeah.
So, but you know, affordability too,
Yeah.
you know, the house that we're building, and even with house prices today, you know, starter house might be 300,000. It used to be 180.
Yeah.
It's still less expensive than like Kansas City,
God, yeah.
Omaha, Minneapolis, Chicago, if you want to be in the Midwest.
Even like this house now, it's in close to Chi-Town. You
Yeah.
know, it's probably appraisal is 370 on it, which is still pretty reasonable. A house, you take this house and plant it in California, it's going to be or
800,000, 900
Denver.
million. Yeah.
Yeah. This house would be $1 million in Denver.
Yeah.
And the weather, I wouldn't say is any better.
No. And
Yeah,
you
you
can
get the
travel to
mountains.
Colorado when you
Yeah,
want.
yeah. It's only an hour flight.
For
so
what you save on your mortgage payment,
Yeah.
you can spend $5,000, fly out there.
you fly out
rent
there every
skis,
month
Yeah,
if you
go
want.
skiing,
Yep.
do your thing, and come home. So,
Yeah, it is. Affordability is great. Fort Dodge, that's pretty affordable though.
yeah, Fort Fun.
You ever get back there?
No, not very much. I still have a good number of friends that live there.
Yeah.
It was a great little town to grow up in.
Yeah.
You grew up in Carroll?
Well, I say Carroll just because no one knows where Glidden Ralston is.
Okay.
But Glidden Ralston, not even. So I live the northeast corner of Carroll County,
Okay.
which is the same distance to like Lake City or Jefferson as it is to Glidden.
Okay.
So I worked in Lake City all through the summers at that car dealership. So we'd get a lot of people from Fort Dodge.
Yeah.
It's a big market. So
Yeah. Good old Fort Dodge.
Yeah.
It was good to grow up there.
yeah.
I think it was also the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was born in 84.
Yeah.
When I was 10 years old, we'd ride our bikes all the way across town and back,
Yeah.
go to the pool, come home when we got home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was fun. It was not stressful.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the thing with like today that I even see with my kids. It's like, oh, you got this, you got that, you got school. And it was just carefree when we were growing up,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I hear stories. I remember the crap I did because I grew up still without a phone.
Yeah.
I was born in 99.
Yeah.
So like still through junior high, we didn't have iPhones. I didn't get an iPhone until I was in high school.
Yeah.
So like I still got that experience, which is great. But now growing up with all that, it would seem crazy, but
Yeah.
it's probably the same thing they thought when they got light bulbs, you know, too.
Yeah.
Like remember back in the day when I had to light my candle to go outside? Like
Wood burning fireplace.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I remember like from where we lived in Fort Dodge to where it was called Expo Pool. It was literally on the other side of town. And I remember 3 or 4 of us, 10, 11, 12 years old, just riding our bikes there. And you'd get there and you'd have $3 in your pocket and there's no more money
Yep.
and there's no phone. Like there was a landline that you could call your mom, but you had to call her office if she's there.
Yeah.
Or try to catch her at home. And if those didn't work, then get back on your bike and ride home. Like,
Get going, buddy.
yeah. But it was a good time.
Yeah.
We had a good group of friends, and Fort Dodge was relatively safe. Obviously,
Stuff you get away with, though.
Yeah.
Man, like, no one's ever documented doing anything stupid in high school. Like, you're getting away with whatever you want.
Yeah.
To some extreme.
Yeah. We caused mischief, but it was my mom. We lived in an A-frame house.
Okay.
So her bedroom was upstairs.
Yeah.
When she would sleep, she'd be out. And so it was like, oh, mom went to bed. Let's give it about 15 minutes. And then we just go all over town again.
God. That's gnarly.
Of course, doing nothing inappropriate. And
No, never.
Staying out of trouble.
Never up there.
We had a water balloon launcher and would just
Send them.
shoot water balloons at cars from afar and take off running. And
My buddy's older brothers, they would have graduated in like 2010. They would tell us stories of where they would, like, big snowstorms. They would go down Main Street in our little town and put up like snowmen in the middle of the road. So you'd be going like 30 and you come around a corner and you just see the snowman and just smoke it with your car. Crazy stuff. But,
yeah.
So what are you involved in? You have obviously your real estate brokerage,
Yep.
your
Ankeny Real Estate Group.
coffee shop.
Brokerage, I'm not really owning anymore.
Okay.
So LPT's a cloud-based brokerage, just a realtor with
Okay.
them. I still have my broker's license.
Yeah.
We're part owner in Northern Vessel,
Okay.
which is a really cool coffee place. We're part owners in the Winterset Sale Barn.
Yep.
That's a cattle auction barn that pays for itself.
Nice.
It's going.
Yep. Has that died down at all? Do you do any like online auctions or anything?
Yeah, we
or?
do online auctions every Tuesday, and then most Saturdays we have big sales. It's interesting this year.
Yeah.
I think, I've never really owned farmland or whatever else. And so that whole agricultural industry and livestock industry, the amount of impact that national politics and stuff plays with it, and
a lot,
how much those guys listen to that stuff. We usually have a couple sales every year that have like 1,000 head of cattle come through. And this year it's just everybody kind of freaked out. And we had half of those, and people were selling them outright themselves on the side because they're afraid the prices weren't going to be as good, which the prices were what they'd always been. Didn't see really any decrease in pricing. But I think that's again where the national news, which in Iowa and the Midwest, I feel like we're less impacted by it. Obviously we're still impacted by it, but like, it just
interesting.
People started stirring around and
cattle market's
nervous.
been good for guys for the last couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, when we first started selling, cattle were going for $2 a pound, and now it's $4 a pound.
Yeah.
But they all of a sudden, sometime this last summer, started freaking out and started selling their stuff basically wholesale. And
just the feeders, guys feeding them out. Interesting.
So, but we'll roll with it.
Yeah. Live and die. Roll with the punches.
Yeah. Learn.
Yeah.
So
1% better every day, baby.
If it doesn't work out, I'm going to put some townhomes down there. That's how we ended up with it. It sits on 17 acres right in Winterset.
Okay.
So like we were a couple years ago at 4th of July, we stopped down to see my wife's dad, and they were talking about sales and whatever else. And someone was like, oh, you should buy the Madison County auction barn. Of course, they're like joking around talking about it. And I'm on the assessor site for Madison County and being like, okay, where is this thing? And what is it?
Yeah.
And it's like right inside of town. It's 17 acres. And what we bought the business for was less than what the land just appraised for.
Wow.
And so I'm like, all right, well, if it can run itself and pay for itself, and
hard to say
gives my
no
father-in-law something to do for a few years, then I feel like we'll be all right. And so it's gone well. Obviously, new industry. The other thing with like all of that is just the amount of government bureaucracy behind like the USDA and the reports they need. And
I bet it's crazy.
Oh, it's more hoops to jump through than you can even imagine.
Just for selling some cows.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, they literally drop them off. We
Yeah.
turn them and move them out the next day.
Yep. Someone buys them. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like the tracking and everything that they need for them, and yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
So
Less government.
yeah,
Pro less government.
yeah, pro less government for sure.
Yeah. Even like the rental inspectors, I was talking to somebody, and nothing against them personally, but that's one, everyone talks about affordable housing. Everyone wants more affordable housing. And will you get rid of some, like I imagine in Ankeny, the rental inspections are pretty harsh on all this stuff. And like, you get rid of a majority of that. Yeah, there's going to be some safety like fire alarms and carbon monoxide, but everything else, if you got rid of it, it's probably going to lower over the long term the price of property.
Yeah.
Because if you have to go throw 10 grand into a house because the driveway is not 9 foot wide, it's only 8 foot wide, tenants don't care about that.
No.
That's not really, that over the end of time, people are going to have to pass those prices down.
Yeah.
So
The building codes I see on new construction stuff, like I joke and say, I swear there's just someone sitting out there and being like, the only way I get to keep my job is if I come up with a couple more codes. And like the one this year, like took place in 2025, starting July 1st.
Yeah.
You can't put outlets on the side of your kitchen island. And we're like, that doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Well,
Those are the best outlets.
They claim that a child or somebody could run by and yank a crock pot off the countertop. And I'm like, okay, but like, he's only going to do it once.
yeah.
Because, he's either going to get burned or something, but like, it just doesn't,
The what ifs, yeah, he could also get on the roof and jump off that same roof too.
Yeah.
Like what if?
Yeah.
He could also walk across the street without looking twice too.
Yeah. I mean, there's what ifs that you can list
There's
for
a million.
days.
If ifs and buts were cherries and nuts, we'd all have a great big Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my grandma would used to say.
Yeah.
That is gnarly. Yeah, I have one. We have in our kitchen that was built in, I don't know. Our house is probably built in the 50s, but they added on the kitchen probably in 2000s, I bet. I use those outlets all the time. Charging my phone and
Yeah. Sitting there doing your computer,
yeah,
working.
that's absurd.
An occasional crock pot. I mean, our island, that's where we have a little griddle thing and we make pancakes and bacon and whatever else. And so
Pretty soon your outlets are going to have to be 6 feet off the ground.
yeah, someone's going to come up with something.
God.
Just keep it going. But like you said, it doesn't make it any more affordable.
No.
A couple of years ago, they made it required that you had to sheetrock the ceilings of unfinished basements. And it's like, supposedly to slow down a fire. But I'm like, if you have a fire going on down there, like it's going to go through that sheetrock just as fast as if it's there or not there.
Yeah.
But
it's really not an unfinished basement either.
yeah. And then also like, so you do have to go finish it. If you didn't do your lights and your HVAC or your electrical, now you're ripping all that sheetrock down and you're probably not saving it.
Nope.
So now you've wasted a couple $1,000 on sheetrock that you ripped down anyways. And
yeah. Because if you got to sheetrock it to finish it, you might as well put lights in it.
yeah.
I mean, if you don't put the lights, spend the money on the lights.
But the builders are not, it
They're
just
not
says
gonna
I
do
got
it
to
for free.
sheetrock. It doesn't say I got to put 8 can lights up there.
Yeah.
You're getting the 2 key lights and that's it. And
Yeah. They're
moving
not going to do
on.
it for free.
No,
I'll tell you that.
No, it's going to go to the bottom line.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So, yeah.
It's crazy. Maybe you should just run for city council.
Nope.
You
not
got that
doing
free
that.
time. You
No,
said.
No.
You said. I heard it. Have recording.
I've been a part of the DMAR board of directors the last couple of years.
How's that?
Really enjoy it. Love the people. Love the conversations and the things that we're talking about and trying to have an impact on. But I just can't.
It's a lot more. You like jump into it and you think it's gonna be easy, but then it's like that's why people that are full-time jobs are politics.
Yeah. And you have to have the right personality for it. You have to like doing that stuff, but what is that personality? Is it someone that likes kind of the power behind it or the influence or to say,
Yeah.
yeah. And so
I get why people like do it when they're older, because it's like kind of, I view it as like volunteer.
yeah, way to give back.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's how I view it. Like, but I did Ames Chamber or Ames Leadership 2 years ago, and I viewed that as giving back as part of its community project. But it was a lot. Like, I thought just our whole thing where we were going to move a playground here in Ames that they're getting rid of. They're putting a whole brand new one. So we got backhoes out there. We had like probably 10 volunteers that we organized, pulling out these huge posts, like 15-foot posts. And then it was about a 1,200 square foot playground. So pretty big playground. Got skid steers out there, pulled it out, stored it, brought it back for the new bridge home that we were supposed to build. That is built. It's where the old McDonald's was in Ames. 18 units. And we were working with them before the building even was put up, before they even broke ground. And we said, hey, we want to put it here. He said, okay, yeah, that should be fine. So they build everything. They end up putting the utility lines right where we were going to put the playground. Okay, whatever. We can find a new place. They put the vegetation that the city of Ames required right where we're going to put the playground. Okay, fine. We'll find somewhere else. We find another spot, Colin. The same charitable foundation owns both parcels right next to each other.
Yeah.
They said, no, you can't put it there because there needs to be a setback. Even though the same place on the same area right next to it, and it was just open area.
Yeah.
So then we just had to get rid of the playground. I had raised $6,000 from just like my sphere, just, hey, we're working on this. We'd love for you to be a part of it. And then we just had to donate the money, and it was probably $10,000 of like, because renting a backhoe for an hour, we just volunteered it. That's $250 an hour at least.
Yeah.
And then 10 people's time for 10 hours.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff behind the scenes.
So what'd you do with the playset?
We just gave it away.
Yeah.
So lucky enough, we didn't have to throw it away. A church took it.
Yeah.
To put at their place.
But still, it's like.
And then the funny thing with the 18 units, they're going to families in need, which I think is great. Like, if you're a single mom, has 2 kids, need a free place to stay to get back on your feet, awesome. All for that. But there's just no common sense. They had to have 18 parking spaces for the apartment. Yeah. Guess how many cars you drive by there are in the parking lot at any given time? Yeah, 2 or 3 maybe.
Yeah. 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 I think that's where also just like common sense. Yeah.
Like, yes, I understand code, like the point of code, because like one time someone did pull that appliance off the island of the kitchen counter, but every other time, let's just kind of use our heads.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the government and city ordinance, whatever else, like they're lacking the common sense of just, will this be okay? Mm-hmm. Like, what's the worst case scenario if the setback on that playset is 10 feet off of what it should be? Like, kids will have somewhere to play.
Yeah, exactly.
And it goes to a good spot.
Yeah, good cause, and it was for free. We put it all there, whatever. But
the code says, so then someone puts their foot down, and it's like, quit reading the code.
Yeah.
Let us put our playset where we want.
Exactly.
Just put the playset there and chalk it up.
Yeah. I end every podcast with 3 questions. Lightning round, speed.
Okay.
Lightning round. What's your favorite book or podcast you'd recommend to somebody?
Ooh, real estate or non-real estate?
Whatever, you can do one of each.
I like Theo Vaughn. His the Weekend podcast is pretty good. Joe Rogan's really good.
Yeah.
Byron Lazine as BAM Media.
Okay.
He does a real estate podcast that's really good. So those are probably some of my favorite podcasts.
Theo Vaughn's a character.
Yeah.
He's funny. I love his shorts. I'll come around his shorts every now and again.
He's just authentic. I think that's the thing about like podcasts and whatnot. It's just you get to see people for who they are. Mm-hmm. And Joe Rogan was definitely like the pioneer of, hey, I'm just going to sit down and have real conversations with people, no matter where they're at and what they're doing, and try to meet them where they're at. And
he was great during COVID. That's the only person I'd listen to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he can't shoot you for talking.
No, God, no. Well, they'll try in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
What's something people often get wrong about your industry?
That it's easy.
Yeah.
That everyone can do it. That all realtors are created the same. You know, I joke and say the pass your driver's test at 70%. Same with your real estate test.
Yeah.
And there's some bad drivers out there. So the same thing with real estate. There's, you know, and I'm not talking about anyone in particular, just it's the largest tangible asset that most people own. And it's something that people should take very seriously. And I think this perception that has been out there because of television that, you know, we just go to lunch and hang out.
Play 9 holes.
Yeah, play 9 holes and
pick up your phone every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the case.
So
yeah, that's a good one. What's one underrated skill that's helped you win?
focusing on myself.
What does that
kind of
look
going
like?
back to the beginning, it's, you know, your competition will do what they do and, you know, just continue to try to improve. And my dad used to say, just focus on yourself and eventually your competition will focus on you as well. And, you know,
Yeah.
you know, the other thing I ground ourselves in with a lot to try to instill it in our team and just good people doing good things. How do you act when no one's around? You know, what decisions are you making when no one's going to know what your decision was, and treat people the right way? And, you know, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
There's no quick way. There's no quick buck.
Yeah.
If there is a quick buck,
You'll lose it.
yeah, there's something tied to it. So
It's true. Always takes longer than you think.
yeah.
Like 5 years is really not that long. Like 5 years in my business career is just the start.
Yeah.
Like there's a long, long runway.
In May, it'll be 20 years since I've had my real estate license.
How does it, how does that make you feel?
Just the journey.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my internship. That was commercial real estate. That was moving to Fargo. That was moving home, being an independent realtor, and then Panzi real estate team, and then Aiken real estate group. And so just, you know, it's all a journey, but I can look back at every phase and remember stuff that was impactful and that I learned from, and that shaped me in a way that, you know, kind of hopefully makes me who I am today. And I will tell you, I don't got it all figured out, and I still have a lot of things I need to work on. And I think that's part of real estate also. Like when you think you've made it, you haven't.
Yeah.
So just keep working and growing and being better and
Evolving.
Yeah.
Changing with the times.
Yeah. I think that's the thing too. It's like so many realtors are like, well, this is what I did. This is what I do. And it's like, okay, well, that was 10 years ago and the market's obviously shifting. And so being aware of that, I think the one thing is when I get really comfortable is when I get like antsy to like, okay, something's gotta change, because comfort is the enemy of like progression and continue to improve. So
Yeah. You ever just look back and think like, damn, I would have never thought that was possible at this time? Like when you're like 18 and just starting out and you're like, man, I would have never thought like this, I could do this.
every once in a while I'll stop and be like, man, we got something special and it's working. But like I don't, when I was younger, I was a pretty good basketball player, and to me it was I didn't consider myself any different than anyone else on the floor. Like I'm just out here doing it. And like going to Iowa State, I always got good grades, but it wasn't about like I'm trying to get good grades. It was just like, and I talked to my boys about this. If you're doing anything, do it to your highest ability. So if you're in school, give it your best. If you're doing a job, do it your best. Like, you know, and so, I think, I mean, there's times where I do got to pinch myself and be like, okay, you're doing okay. And this has been fun. And who knows what the next 10 years will hold in store, but you know, it, never get a big head about it. And
Are you a pretty faithful guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Love it. If someone, wrapping it up, someone wants to reach out to you, get lunch, learn a little bit more about the team, how can they find you?
Call me on my cell phone.
Drop the digits.
515-339-0018. That's the best way to get a hold of me.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Colin. This is awesome.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Sweet.
Thank you, sir.